Why don't you drop something in the chat just to make sure that you can hear me okay? I want to make sure that everything's going just fine. Check 1 2, check 1 2. All right. Waiting for you guys to join. Looks like we have 4 people in. How's it going? Just drop a quick emoji in the chat. And today we're going to be answering your questions about music marketing. What's up, Travis? Check, check. Good to have. As more people come in, we're going to be diving into your questions. Just drop your questions in the chat. It could be about anything. It could be about music marketing. It could be about music itself. It can be about any of the training here on the Indie Music Academy. What is this? YouTube channel. That's right. Hey, Justin, how's it going? Thanks for joining us. And so, yeah, this is your time just to ask any questions you might have. And yeah, this is the 4th one that we've done here on YouTube this quarantine season, and most likely will be the last. So this, if you can, just utilize this to the best of your ability here on YouTube. And yeah, we're gonna get into your questions. And looks like Justin's already got one question in. That's good. We're gonna wait for a few more people to roll in. And yeah, so how have you guys been doing? Let me know what you've spent this week doing musically, maybe non-musically. I just want to, hear from you guys, make this like a little casual reunion. So far, we've been doing this for 4 Fridays. Yeah, 4 Fridays in a row. So yeah, just let me know how you guys have been holding up. Hey, what's up, Chopper Boy? Good, and I'm dropping an album tomorrow. Awesome. How many how many tracks on that album? I'm wondering. And then drop a link so other people can check it out too. Want to support each other here, you know? Hey, what's up, Jerry? Go Mustangs. That's right. Fellow Cal Poly grad. Justin asked, do you do features, by the way? Like me sing? Is that what you're asking? Me singing on someone else's track? Let me know if that's what you're asking. Chopper Boy says 7 tracks. Congratulations, man. It's a lot of work. Hope it goes well. My best to you. Yeah, so I have done features before. Yes, there aren't any out on my Spotify profile right now because they're on other artists' profile. But yeah, I did feature a feature with my buddy Kyle, who's a Christian rapper, and he, basically wrote the rap. This was an instance where I produced the beat, and then I also sang the hook. So that was really fun. So to answer your question, yes, sometimes. Yeah, Chopper Boy, you got it. So yeah, this I want this time to be about whatever you want to talk about. So if you want to share about something that you have coming up, you might need advice on the best way to tackle the promotion or the marketing strategy for that. Drop that in the comments. If you guys just want to, ask me questions about, I don't know what you would want to ask me, but whatever you guys want to ask, this is your time. So we can take this any direction you want. And yeah, let's see. Ron says, love the videos. Trying to get off ASCAP and join BMI. I can't find my old password and can't get a hold of them. Yeah, seriously, that, you're not the first person who said that they wanted to get off of ASCAP, which is interesting. I'm not an ASCAP artist. Always have been BMI, so I don't know what they're doing over there. But I just know, like, from like the law standpoint, like they should be identical as far as royalty collection. But yeah, I don't know Yeah, if you can't like get your password changed and like click the forgot password button, then that's like a disaster. So maybe you can just contact support, because I know the BMI support email is like support@bmi.com. And so maybe you can Google the support email for ASCAP and, make some progress in that. So I hope that helps. Um, see, Justin has a question. How does college radio work, and how can it lead to main radio? Well, Justin, unfortunately, college radio most likely will never lead to main radio. So unfortunately, I don't have like a direct answer to your question. But other than that, college radio um, probably would work best if you just went and um, had a really good press package and then tried to fill in a time slot that was in need with an interview. That's how I would approach it. I wouldn't really, do the whole like just blind, or I guess it would be called cold sending in music. What Because I mean, what are the chances there? So if you can find one of the college DJs that has a show and they're hungry for like content and they're just like scrambling to get stuff in their time slot, like offer yourself as the answer to that. That's what I would do. So that could be an interview. That could be like maybe in studio concert. It could be whatever. Yeah, maybe even like a short Q&A, just talking about your latest single, some of the successes. And obviously college radio is local radio. So if you could talk about something that's happening in the community, that's another great in. So that's how I would approach that. Um, Regular radio, called terrestrial radio, is a completely different track, and it's not going to cross over, I guarantee you. T Carver 09 says, what's the best distribution that does not use a DK serial number? Okay, so the DK stands for DistroKid, and basically he's asking, what's the best distributor that's not DistroKid? So that's just super funny if you guys have ever seen my DistroKid video. So what I always recommend to everyone, Travis, is CD Baby for these reasons. And actually, if you were on the call earlier today, I literally went through this. So it's a super common question. CD Baby is a one-time fee. So no recurring fees, no subscription, no nothing. So it is a little bit more expensive up front. But I mean, come on, we all want our music to live forever. We don't want to pay yearly fees to keep our music up. I mean, heck, we want our grandkids to listen to our songs on Spotify, 15 years from now, no matter what happens, right? So at least that's how I feel. So CD Baby, your songs are going to live, longer than you, at least, unless if CD Baby just like crumbles as a company, which they won't, because they're one of the longest standing distributors. So they have a great staff. They've been around the fee by a little bit. So just want to make sure I say that. But CD Baby Pro is amazing because it's basically a built-in song trust integration into CD Baby. So if you guys don't know what song trust is, there's a video on my channel talking about all the differences between these different collection services. But Song Trust is great because they do things like collect your YouTube content ID, and they collect your overseas royalties, and they help you register your songs on BMI without having to actually use the BMI portal, which is nice because the BMI portal is a little confusing. So Song Trust helps with all of that stuff. And if you have CD Baby Pro, then you automatically get the power of Song Trust because it's like an affiliated, what's the real word? Yeah, it's like ported in. So the entire Song Trust staff is built into CD Baby Pro. And lastly, the thing that I love about CD Baby, and I'm not sponsored, by the way, I actually don't use CD Baby, but I just respect a really good service, is that they actually bought and now have a company called Show.co, which is an amazing Spotify pre-save. I guess it would be called software. Yeah, pre-save software. So what you do is you sign up for Show.co. There is a free account, but there's also paid accounts. And you can do amazing things like Spotify pre-saves. You can, build your email list. One really cool thing, this is a really cool way to set it up. You can build your email list by getting the Facebook emails of the people who pre-save your song. So it's like literally one click and you're building your email list. It's an incredible service. I think you have to upgrade to one of their paid accounts to do that. But just imagine, people are pre-saving your song, you're building your mailing list, you have your autoresponder ready, so just like I taught you guys on the YouTube channel. So you're sending them on the fan journey. Great service. So that was basically a long-winded way to say I suggest CD Baby in most cases. Yeah, hopefully that helps, Travis. Okay, Joshua T says, what is the difference between owing? I'm wondering if he means owning. So what's the difference between owning the rights to a song and owning the masters? How would you go about getting the rights to the masters? Okay, that makes sense, Josh. So yes, it is owning. So the thing to know is that a song has two copyrights, right? There's the copyright for the music and lyrics, which is what we call the song. And then there's the copyright for the master recording, which is called the master. So when Josh is asking, how do you go about owning the rights to the song and owning the rights to the masters? He's talking about both copyrights that work together to completely protect a released musical work. So what is the difference? Well, the difference is that there's actually two creative copyrightable elements that come together when you release a song. So if you are, let's just use this scenario. If you are an independent artist that has no deals, no record deals, and you are, you have like a DistroKid account or a CD Baby account, and you're self-releasing, then because you're working all on your own, you automatically own the copyright to the masters and you automatically own the copyright to your song because you didn't sign it away. Now, another scenario, if you're signed to a record label or signed to a publishing deal, you might lose one of those. So you might lose one of those because of the contract that you sign. I should clarify that. So if you're signed to a record label, most likely they will own the masters, and I'll tell you why. The record label is the one that's going to probably pay for the studio time. They're the ones that are going to hire the session musicians, probably pay for the producer. They're going to do all these things. And so if you're signed, that's a big perk, right? Because they're paying for things up front. It doesn't come out of your pocket. You're never in debt, right? The record label goes into debt for the artist, okay? So that's why they end up owning the masters, because they paid for it. But there's also another thing that usually happens in a record contract, and it's this thing called recoupment. So if you're signed to a record deal, they're most likely going to pay for everything. They're most likely going to also own your master. But there's this thing called recoupment so that they can actually make their money back from all these expenses that they're paying, So exactly, the cuckoo. Whoa, cat inside a box. I love that. Okay, so yeah, so that recoupment, I mean, it really catches you off guard, but basically it sheds a light on what a record deal really is. It's just a creative loan, right? So it's a loan that you have to pay back, and you usually pay that back through royalties, and you pay that back through, trading the rights to your masters. So I hope that answered all your questions. So if you're independent, you own the rights to your masters. Now, there might be a circumstance where you're like working with a producer or something, or someone's helping you out. You can't really afford to pay them, and then you might lose, something because you just can't pay cash, right? So you're turning something that's like a trade, trade cash for service type of deal, and now you're leveraging the things of value that you have. So it's like, oh, well, let me pay you in songwriting credit, or let me pay you by owning the master. That might be another, another option. So let's get to the next question. Okay, what is? Oh, that was Josh's. Okay, so Travel Boy says, so is this about getting more streams or followers? Can you explain more since I can see you? Is that directed towards me, or are you guys talking to each other? Just let me know, Chopper Boy. But just in case you are joining in now, this is a stream that is just about you guys and your questions. And ask me anything. It's time for you. And, at the Indie Music Academy, I just like to help you guys build your marketing plan, promote your music correctly. And if you guys haven't joined the free training that I have at the Indie Music Academy website, I highly recommend it. It's totally free. If you guys haven't seen the free training yet, why don't you just like say something in the chat so I know whether or not to put the link down. But you could say something like, send the free training or something like that. I'll make sure I get it to you. But yeah, other than that, we're just going to answer your questions. Maybe your questions are about how to market your next song coming out. Maybe your questions are about royalties and the music industry. It could be anything. So whatever you guys want to talk about, that's what we'll talk about in this time. So let's see what we got here. Okay, yeah. So Chopper Boy said, yes, you. Okay, so yeah, I hope I answered the question, but yeah, you can ask about, getting more streams. You can ask about building your fan base. You can ask about whatever you want. So whatever you feel like you need, ask away. Okay. A Ayub says, hope everyone's doing well. I'm a music producer if everyone wants to collaborate. Nice. All right, you guys work it out. Villain says, when should you trademark your band name? So trademark is actually extremely expensive, especially in the US. And I don't know exactly where you live, but I know it's like multiple thousands, plus you have to hire lawyers. So there's lawyer fees involved. So I would not register a trademark until you are profitable in a big way. And that's my suggestion. Yeah, short and sweet. I would not register a trademark till you're profitable in a big way. Skate Alex 2 says, tips for building Spotify followers for significant amounts over time. Yeah, man. So can't really say there's a tip, like a single tip for doing that. There's really only a couple avenues, right? You can buy placements, right? By pitching to playlists, right? It's not guaranteed, right? So it's not like a payola situation. You pay to submit your songs and then they listen to it and hopefully they add you to their playlist so you can get that organic reach. Hit or miss, also very expensive. 2, you can use Instagram swipe up ads and Facebook ads to buy traffic, which is basically the paid version of you just having an organic following that you build up over the long term. So also very expensive. And then option 3 is, well, you post all day, every day until your followers grow, right? So basically there's no good options, right? So if it was easy, everyone would have a huge Spotify following. So let me give you actually something helpful. Tips for growing your Spotify. Okay, something actually helpful. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure that your content strategy is on point. And I'll tell you why I'm talking about content strategy when it relates to Spotify. You might be thinking they're not related, but they are. So your content strategy needs to be on point. You need to make sure that the content that you're posting on platforms that are like social media, Facebook, Instagram, that are very outward focused, think about who those fans are, right? Those fans don't really know you very well, most likely. They're what I would call cold fans, right? So they're not warmed up. They don't know you very well. They haven't been to concerts, right? They haven't bought anything. So those cold fans, you need to make content for them and start sending them on what I call your fan journey, okay? So if you haven't watched any of the fan journey videos on this channel, I highly recommend them. I actually have a whole series called the 30 Days of Action series here on the channel. Just go to the Indie Music Academy channel and it's right there, like the first thing. And within the 30 Days of Action series, I start talking about something called the fan journey. And in your fan journey, some important things happen. But in the middle, The goal is to actually get fans on your mailing list. Okay. And once you have fans on your mailing list, you can actually communicate with them whenever you want for free. And so in that process of building your mailing list, that's actually a process that you can make money doing, by the way. So in that process, you can then promote your Spotify. But if your whole goal is to get Spotify followers and that's what you're marketing towards, and you're not marketing towards moving people along your fan journey, then I guarantee you that's going to be a waste of money. So that in a nutshell, big takeaway. Your Spotify will grow if you're taking fans on a journey from stranger to VIP to really get to know you and to really become fans. So that is, I guess, the tip. So don't focus on just growing Spotify followers. You're never going to make your marketing money back. There's a bigger picture that needs to be seen here. So I hope that helps. Let me know if that's confusing. Feel free to post some follow-up questions. Yeah, absolutely. So let's see what else we got going on here. Mm-hmm. Mr. Shankleys says, if you have a co-writer who only contributed to 2 songs out of an entire album, and you send the album to the Federal Copyright Office, is there a way to have that writer only be put as a holder for those 2 songs alone? So the good thing about the U.S. Copyright Office is that whatever you register with them does not need to match the collection that you release those songs in. So I'll say it in a different way. You can make a collection of songs that is different from the collection of songs that consists of your album. So what I would do in your case is I would make a collection of songs called Mr. Shankly's Collection Number 1 and have the songs that have the same credits on them and copyright that. And then those 2 songs with the co-writer, make a second collection and copyright that. And it's that simple. So it does not have to match the album. You don't even have to copyright the album itself because we don't really care about copyrighting albums. We care about copyrighting songs. And so you can split those up into 2 collections. All right. Oh, DJ Reverend says, I'm good. Jump straight here from the email. Perfect. So he's already on the mailing list. Good for him. He's already seen the free workshop. If you guys haven't seen the free workshop yet, I'll put that in the chat right now for you. Workshop. Here it is. So many links, you know. Yeah, so I'm going to drop that in the comments. It's like a hour training, I believe, and you also get a ton of free stuff like valuable music industry contracts. You get my Spotify playlist game plan, which is how I get on Spotify playlists. You get my royalty collection guide, which actually answers a lot of questions that we talked about today about the whole BMI ASCAP thing. So you get all of that with the free workshop, and so that's at the link below. Definitely check it out because it's super valuable and it's free. So why not, right? Let's get back to your questions, though. So AAU says, what kind of contracts producers can get? So as a producer, you're going to want to get something called a work for hire contract, which you sign that with whenever you have a client, basically, which is a work for hire agreement. And so when you sign that contract, it basically outlines the nature of the agreement. So you do the work and you get paid. And so that's the way that as a producer, you can protect yourself and show on paper that, hey, you've agreed to pay me for this work and I've delivered this work. So now you get to pay me. So that's a pretty good contract for a producer to have. And it's also included in the contracts bundle that comes with the workshop. So you couldn't have asked that at a better time. Boreal Forest says, do you sign any musical rights away when you sign up for CD Baby Pro? The answer to that is no. You don't sign any rights away. But what you do lose and this is a loose term because you don't really lose anything, is you do lose, 15% of your royalties because that's their fee for collecting all this extra stuff. Okay. So you don't really lose it because most distributors take some kind of collection fee. That's totally normal. Like my distributor AWOL, they take, I think, 14 or 15%, just like CD Baby. It's all about the pricing structure of the distribution company. Like, for example, DistroKid doesn't take a cut, but they charge you whether you make money or not. Same thing with TuneCore. They charge you per song. So it's totally, yeah, it's totally normal for CD Baby to take their cut for CD Baby Pro. So you don't sign any of your rights away. You just have to agree that they get paid for their work. So what's up, Jerry? When does a songwriter need to get a lawyer? Where do I find an attorney who deals in contracts from a music producer? That's a really good question. So let me think about that for a sec. So when does a songwriter need to get a lawyer? So it's a really good idea to always have a lawyer look over these contracts. So I'm assuming that you have a contract on hand that someone's asking you to sign. Is that correct? And so you need someone to like look at it to basically have your back. Yeah, I don't know if I have a good answer for that other than, looking at the local businesses in these music hubs, right? So look in Los Angeles, look in New York, look in Nashville for entertainment firms, okay? And they can help you out. So, it's going to be expensive. So if the deal's not really good, yeah, I don't know what your contract is about. So good luck, man. But yeah, it's going to be expensive, but it'll be worth it if you actually sign. So good question, man. Hey, Ayub says, I need to watch the contents on your channel. I'm new. Yeah, that's fine, man. There's so many videos. So dive in and have fun and learn and have a blast. Let's see. DJ Reverend says, most people want to know how to end on Spotify playlists. Sometimes you got to invest. That's my point of view. I'm not sure if I understand your question. So let me know if you're able to clarify that, because yeah, I'm not really sure what you're asking. Villain says, if you're doing your first release, how can you ensure all your music is on the platforms such as Spotify by the release date if using a distributor such as CD Baby? So there are clear guidelines that the distributors give. So this is not a mystery, but I'll let you know right now. The best practice is to make sure that your release date is 4 weeks out from when you upload and submit the song. So if you're 4 weeks out, then all of the releases will get synchronized, because it does take, up to a few weeks to get them or to get your song on all of the platforms. And so, like, for example, I think Spotify and Apple Music are the fastest. And then, all of the overseas and kind of like more, what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, the more obscure distributors take a little bit longer. So having that 4 week lead time is a must, especially if you're trying to synchronize your release, which is a good idea. I'm glad you said CD Baby, because DistroKid, if you're on their basic plan, doesn't even let you choose a release date. So it's just good that you have CD Baby, so you have that option. And I think it's more professional. So yeah, just hit those marks. Like, use a great distributor like CD Baby. Make sure that your song is ready 4 weeks in advance. But if you really had to push it, 2 weeks in advance should probably get you most of the way there, because I know that most distributors will get you out there in just a couple weeks. So yeah. Good questions, by the way, guys. And also, if you have something that comes to mind that you'd love to see on the channel, feel free to also just drop a suggestion on what kind of content you want to see, because that helps me out too. Just knowing what you guys are working on, what you're researching, just all of that stuff. It gives me ideas, and I mean, not even ideas. It just tells me directly what kind of content I should make for you next. So that helps. I just also wanted to invite you to do that as well. Let's continue into your questions. DJ Reverend says, CUR. I am mastering. Glad I came shortly. Nice. Yes, I do have a video on mastering on the channel. If you guys are home producers, home audio engineers, I show my mastering method here at home, at a home studio. So I think it's really a valuable video. It's like an hour long, so pop some popcorn and dig right in. So Mr. Slanky says, awesome, thank you. You're very, very welcome. Stormer says, how do I get royalties if I upload a cover song on DistroKid? So the answer is, at this time, I don't think you can. So in order to upload a cover song, you need something called a mechanical license. And what I suggest is that it's clear that you're a DistroKid customer. What I suggest is that you get a second distributor that actually has a cover song feature built right in to their distribution. So just a couple off the top of my head is, I know Ditto does that. I think I know that Lander does it. If you guys know of any more, just drop them in the chat, because I can't really Google it right now. But there are distributors that handle the mechanical license acquisition all in one go. You know, so basically what this looks like is you record your cover song, you upload it to this distributor. They say, hey, do you want to purchase a mechanical license since you don't own this song? And then you say yes, and it's like 10 or 20 bucks, and then you're good for a while until you become famous, and then you have to pay again. So that's how that goes. DistroKid, I don't think offers that built in. If you wanted to release it on DistroKid, you'd have to go straight to the publisher and get permission, which is a way tougher process than just using one of those. Let's see. Thanks. DistroKid does have a cover song feature, though, since some... Okay, sweet. They take care of the mechanical license. Perfect. Then you don't even have to use Ditto or anything. So you're good to go. Just pay the mechanical license, and you should be good to go, man. Thanks for... I haven't used DistroKid since they banned me. If you haven't seen that video, it's entertaining. It's an entertaining watch. So go ahead and check that out. Let's see what else you guys got going on. Good questions, by the way, guys. The Alchemist says, how to book shows locally and out of state. Great question. And actually, what will be easier is I think I sent this on the live stream last week too. So on the Indie Music Academy website, there's a blog. And don't worry, I'm grabbing you the link right now. I just have a hard time typing and talking at the same time, so bear with me if I'm talking a little slower. But on the Indie Music Academy blog, I have a in-depth blog post called How to Book a Tour, the comprehensive guide to booking your own DIY tour as an indie artist. So I'm grabbing the link right now. This is going to help you so much. So I'm dropping this in right now. And there it is. So that's the blog post on booking shows locally and out of state. So that should help a ton. Thanks so much. And Sam Duke says, I bought your content calendar and it was super dope. Hey man, thank you. I'm so glad that you bought it, that you took that leap, and just thanks for supporting the Indie Music Academy. And yeah, the content calendar, in case you guys don't know, It's a 365-day content calendar for musicians. So literally, there's 365 content ideas that are specifically designed to be for the beginning of your fan journey. So activating those fans and sending them along your fan journey in the right way. So if you guys want to check that out, I could also drop the link, but I think Sam has a follow-up question. As a new artist with 0 fans, how would you start during this pandemic? Perfect question. Perfect question. So here's the thing, man. Everyone is at home right now, basically just hungry for content. Okay. So there's no better time to start. And what I would do is I would start with cover songs. Okay. I'll tell you why. Because one, cover songs are searchable. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to drop the link to the content calendar for anyone else who wants to dive in. So cover songs are searchable. So that's one category, especially on YouTube. Okay. Second is I would do Facebook Lives. Okay. And that's specifically how you would use the content calendar. Okay. So the content calendar that you bought, obviously it has 365 content ideas. What you should be doing is going live every single day until your mind melts, just trying to get some visibility. Okay. And, the content calendar ideas are specifically meant for video. They're specifically meant for you to tell your story. And so don't be afraid to just like be a little anecdotal and say, hey, what's up, guys? Sam back here. I'm taking a break from the studio. I just wanted to tune in and, actually, let me pull up one of the actual prompts from the content calendar to give you a real example here. Here we go. Okay, so I got the content calendar up right here, and one of the prompts is the 5 tips I use to keep myself motivated. Oh, and that's like the perfect prompt for coronavirus season. So yeah, just like, hey guys, Sam here. I'm taking a break from recording my new EP. I just wanted to check in to see how you guys are doing. I just, I'm stuck inside just like you guys, but I wanted to share some of my tips to keep you guys motivated in this corona season. Some things that, me and the band have been doing is just trying to find the silver lining in everything, because it's really easy to get frustrated. We're all at our wits' end being stuck indoors, and you could just keep going. And what it's showing is your personality, but it's also introducing them to the basics of what you do. And that's the big thing. Like the one thing that I teach in the fan journey formula is something called the know, like, trust strategy. And so that's the whole thing. The 365-day content calendar is all about the know and like part of that journey. So they have to know about what you're doing, but then with you sharing your personality and you putting yourself out there, they're going to love you. Well, and some people won't, and we don't care about them. They can just keep scrolling. But that's the idea, taking them from know to like. And I hope that helps, Sam. Thanks for buying the content calendar. Yeah, I hope that really helps, dude. Best of luck. Best of luck. Oh, yeah, here we go. Phil's had a really good question. Do you need BMI, ASCAP, Sound Exchange, or Songtrust if you get CD Baby Pro? Here's the answer, and it's nuanced, so I'll say this slow just so I don't get mixed up. CD Baby Pro uses the power of Songtrust, okay? So if you get CD Baby Pro, you don't need Songtrust. It's built in. You'd be basically signing up twice, okay? So that's part one. CD Baby Pro does not overlap with Sound Exchange, though, because Sound Exchange collects a different royalty. It collects internet radio royalties. So you still need Sound Exchange. This is where things get confusing. BMI and ASCAP, you can't have both, so you have to pick one. They won't let you sign up for both. So let's just assume for a sec you have BMI. If you get CD Baby Pro, you still need a BMI account, but CD Baby Pro will register the songs for you in their form. So you're like literally logged into CD Baby, filling out their form, and they just port the data over to BMI for you. So that's how that works. Kind of weird and confusing, but like feel free to just like rewind back at any time if you need to hear that again. So hope that helps. Jerry V says, how expensive was it to have Steve Leslie review your song? I have 4 songs for Steve to review. Does that mean I need to meet with him 4 times? So I know something that maybe you guys don't know about Steve, and he's starting a membership. And so, yeah, so you guys have options that I didn't have. What I have to do is, buy his course and like spend a ton of money. But we're good friends now, so it was all worth it. But yeah, Steve has a membership now called The Fine Art of Songwriting. And so if you want to just like learn from the master, that's where you have to be. So let me actually find that for you, Jerry, because it's probably the best bang for your buck as well. Googling. Here it is. Subscribe. All right, so I'm going to drop in Steve's songwriting subscription page for you, Jerry. And here it is. I can't remember how much it is, but it's not bad. It's not bad. Ayub says, I would feel like an idiot if I'm pronouncing that wrong too, so don't tell me. How to show your music to major labels. So once again, just like we talked about earlier, there's no silver bullet to that either. So just to kind of generalize, radio, like terrestrial radio, like FM radio, there's no silver bullet. Okay. Getting signed to a major record label, no silver bullet. You have to have a huge fan base. You have to have like enormous data backing you for them to even consider a meeting. Okay. So that is, I just want to preface that. However, I do have a product at the Indie Music Academy called the Music Gatekeepers Contact Book. And what that is a database of all of the phone numbers and emails of indie music labels and major record labels. Okay. So if you're ready, or if you just want to have it at your disposal, there is the link to the contact book. Okay. So, and the contact book also includes emails and phone numbers to radio stations. They also include emails and phone numbers to booking agents, music publishers. So if you have a great pitch, if you have great music, if you have the data to show your upward trend and growth, if you have all of that stuff, then use the contact book because they need great artists. Like there's no way around that. If you're not ready, then I don't suggest getting the book yet. I just want to be honest with you guys because they want to see fans. So I hope that helps. Ramen Butter says, which is the best cheap way to release a single song without having any future release plans? So I'm assuming you're talking about distribution. The cheapest distributor is probably, well, actually, there's some free ones. You can't beat free, right? So United Masters is free. Gosh, man, there's so many distributors. Why don't you guys help me out and drop down the free distributors because I just can't remember them right now. But yeah, if you want to release music, you don't mind the features, you just want to get stuff out there. I know one for sure is United Masters. You can distribute your music for free. There's a couple others too. There's actually a bunch of others that are coming out. So there are lots of options now. Jerry says, I bought your Music Gatekeepers contact book. Awesome, man. Yeah, dude, it's if you're ready, um, you know, it's a useful tool. It doesn't change the fact that you need, fans, you need great songs, you need basically to show that you have the stuff. And it also doesn't change the fact that, recording contracts often are a bad deal for for artists without a lot of fans, okay? So just because you get signed doesn't mean that you're actually, a step up from independent. You can actually get signed and be a step down. And yeah, and there's also a lot of people who, you know, they think a record deal is going to be this big thing, but it's actually not what they think it is. So, um, yeah, man, music industry, very, very complicated industry. Mr. Shankly says, what websites do you suggest for web hosting for music? Are you talking about like an artist website? Because I do have some suggestions for that. But if you're talking about something else, like more like file sharing, let me know. Do you mean like file sharing, or do you mean like a website, or do you mean like a place where people can just enjoy your music? Let me know if you could clarify that. That'd be awesome. I'd love to answer your question. All right. And Mr. Shankly said, okay, a website for a musician or band. Perfect. Yeah. So I usually suggest one of these two. Squarespace is amazing, and it has some features for musicians. Um, and then the other one is called Bandzoogle, which is made for musicians. Amazing web builder, just more expensive. So both are really good options. There's also Wix, of course, and Weebly. But I like Squarespace websites. I've never made a Bandzoogle, but Steve Leslie has a Bandzoogle, so there's that proof right there that it's good. And yeah, it really depends on what you plan on doing too, because Squarespace doesn't offer any like membership features if you want to eventually have a membership surrounding your music brand, but Bandzoogle does. So you can actually take membership payments built right into Bandzoogle. That's how Steve Leslie does his songwriting mentorship group. It's all built in one thing. He doesn't have to use Patreon or anything like that. So yeah, those are two really great options. All right. Boreal Forest says, best way to promote a homemade music video for first single. Okay, so you have a homemade music video and you want to use it to promote your first single. Okay, this is what I would do in your case. This is highly advanced. So I'm not gonna hold back, man. Okay, this is what I'll do. What you need to do is you need to take the $1 trial for the indie growth community. And I'm not saying that tongue in cheek, okay? So let me get you that link. This is the link to the indie growth community, which is my artist coaching community. Right now, there's a trial you can join for $1. You get a whole month of coaching for $1. And the reason I say that is this, because what you should do with that video is you should create a Facebook ad that is specifically targeting interests that are in line with what your fans expect of you. So hopefully that makes sense. But the reason why I say join the indie growth coaching community is because making Facebook ads, they're not as easy as they sound. It's not just a matter of boosting the post. There's a lot of setup involved. And so you would need to be a member of my community to ask the questions involving that. And so that's like truly no filter what I suggest that you do, because I want to make sure that you actually get the right eyeballs on your content. And since you already have the music video made, and you said it's homemade, so it's actually probably going to look really great in a news feed. That's what I would suggest. And so, um, yeah, basically sign up for the indie growth coaching community. There's a ton of training that you can just binge watch in like today if you wanted to. Plus, you get access to the questions board. Plus, you get access to all the other independent artists in the community. And yeah, take advantage of that $1 30-day trial. And then if you decide that you don't want to continue and you're done doing Facebook ads to promote your music and you don't need any help anymore, you can cancel at any time. So it's honestly a no-brainer deal in my mind. So that's what I would do. And of course, this invitation goes to anyone watching. If you do want to join the indie growth community or even just join for a month, check it out. Check out the existing training that's inside the community that you get access to immediately. That's what I would do. So hope that helps. And best of luck, man. Best of luck with that new song and music video. Oh, by the way, I did the exact same thing when my new song came out, and got like 300,000 people viewing my music video on $5 a day. So it's powerful stuff if you set it up right. And most artists can afford a $5 a day promotion. So it's really important that you don't just click the boost post, okay? Because that's using the platform incorrectly if you really want to get these things popping. So all right. Yeah, Sam. Yeah, we talked about the content calendar. Perfect. Yes, we talked about Steve Leslie. Yeah, dude, Jerry. Steve Leslie is awesome. He's such a good songwriter. I mean, he won a Grammy, so it speaks for itself. All right. Will's asking, would you recommend packing it all together in reference to distribution, publishing, content ID, and sync, or do you recommend keeping it separate? So honestly, it all works if you keep it separately, because that's what I had to do, because just because of circumstances. And you can get the backstory by watching my DistroKid video and the backstory of how I got banned and had to move my entire catalog of music to another distributor like ASAP. And so I ended up going with AWOL because of that. The details are in the video. So what I have is everything is set up independently and separate from itself. So I have an AWOL account, handles my distribution. The one thing that AWOL does handle is YouTube Content ID, but I also have a Songtrust account. And what I had to do is I had to tell Songtrust to just lay off of YouTube because AOL was already handling that, and they gladly turned that service off. It's like no sweat to them. And then I have Sound Exchange, and then I have BMI, and so it's all separate for me, man. And it's like totally fine. I just think it's easy, and I think it's awesome how CD Baby Pro kind of puts it all in one place. All you really need would be CD Baby Pro and Songtrust, and you got all your bases covered, like pretty much. All that I could think of. Yeah, so it doesn't really matter, I don't think. Sweet, guys. These are really good questions. Unfortunately, we only got about 5 minutes left, but if the questions keep kind of coming, I don't mind going over every single Friday. So it's been super fun. No big deal. Let's see who's next. William says, what's a good way to drive hip hop traffic to your website? What do you mean by hip hop traffic? Are you an artist, or are you a producer looking for hip hop artists as clients? Are you, just tell me a little bit more about what your goal is, because I can't really tell you a certain marketing plan without knowing the goal, because the goal is everything. Okay, so just let me know a little bit about the backstory of that and the goal, because that will really help. Byron Mesa TV says, "What's a good distributor for Vivo, and how do I get a Vivo account merged with an official artist channel?" That's something I actually don't know. My gut guess would be Orchard Distribution, which is a like a highly exclusive um, distributor, and they also distribute indie films. That's a guess. I don't know that, but um, I'm sure that like a few hours of Googling, you'll eventually find the answer. So I'm sorry, I just don't have that off the top of my head. Um, yeah, I've never set up a Vivo account. It hasn't really been a top priority for me because, I mean, yeah, I I just watch music videos on YouTube, and I feel like 99% of the population does as well. So sorry, I'm not able to help there. Mr. Slinky says, "Would you recommend an individual artist to create their own label later down the road if possible?" So a label is just, honestly, is just like a brand. So if you're an independent artist, you basically are your own label anyways. So by like coming up with a separate brand, really all you would be doing is just like creating a little separation between like the artist side of you and the marketing side of you, so to speak. But there's really no like royalty or technical differentiator if you come up with a label brand or you just are yourself as an independent artist. So to answer your question, I can't really make a clear recommendation. It's all about what you want to do, and just the bandwidth of what you're able to promote. Like, if you create your own individual label, does that mean that you're setting up a separate website for that label? Are you trying to sign other artists to that label? It all depends on what you want to do. So, but as an individual artist, you don't need to. You're just fine on your own. Will says he saw the vid. That's good. Jerry says, "Home is a great song. I enjoyed watching the YouTube video." Thanks, man. Yeah. Um, it was really fun writing that. Of course, I showed the song to Steve. Um, he gave me some really great pointers, made the song what it is. Um, yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks for listening to my song. Okay, Will gets back. Yeah, so he's an indie hip hop label. Clothing design, videography, beat production, photos. We do multi-genre entertainment. Okay, sweet. So your best bet is probably going to be doing um, just traditional lead generation on Facebook as well, or doing organic content creation that leads to some kind of sign up. So, um, yeah, that's going to be kind of hard to outline here, but basically, you would want to use the Facebook ads platform as well. So, Will, once again, the shameless plug, check out the 30 days free in the indie growth community, and I can answer your questions about that. And just to recap, in the indie growth community, we do have live Q&A calls like this, but we can actually talk to each other and screen share. So I can actually look at your ads account and help you set these things up. So it's valuable, especially if you're trying to get into these very technically advanced marketing strategies. Yeah, whether you're on the label side or the artist side, it's a lot to learn. So that's what the community is for, is to get that help when you need it on your marketing projects. So I highly recommend doing the free trial, or not the free trial, the $1 trial. And I'll drop the link in one more time for you as well. Here's the link to the $1 growth community trial. Awesome. And William says, "We agree. Thank you. Would love to talk further." Yeah, dude. Let's talk, man. Let's get involved deeper. That's what the community is all about. And yeah, dude, I hope to see you on the inside because it could be really good. All right, so it's 9:01 my time. I'll do just the questions that are here, and then I gotta run. But it's been amazing. Thanks for the great questions. We'll do these last few. So let's see. Will says, anything in particular that helped you make the decision to use AWOL? So that's a really great question. It was the pricing structure that made me decide AWOL. And the pricing structure is no upfront fees, all back end splits. And so just kind of remember back to the circumstances in which I had to choose. I had to move my entire catalog at one time, which was all my music and all my artists' music on Lionbold Records. So basically, if I went with CD Baby, I'd have to drop hundreds just to transition. And so I was like, no, doesn't sound good to me. Don't want to be cash flow negative, just like I talked about in the training earlier this week. So that was the big choice on moving to AWOL, so I can move I can move my whole catalog, avoid disaster on DistroKid, and not lose hundreds in the process. So that was the thinking behind that. Oh, Will says, been trying to get on forever, couldn't find the chat. Darn man. Well, you caught us before the end, no problem. Will's asking, when working on release kits and promo, he's asking videos, photos, and creative content. What's the best content to create that will go a long way on Instagram? So, yeah, so kind of like what we were talking about earlier. Unfortunately, I know you weren't here, so I'll say it again. You want to think about that fan journey. So, the fan journey is all about taking people on the know, like, trust journey. They know about you, they like you, they trust you enough to do that thing that you're asking them to do. It's all good, man. Don't worry about it. So your content on Instagram is the beginning of the fan journey. So it's that know to like. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to make content that lets people get to know you. And so the exact example that I gave earlier, and I'm not trying to make you feel bad by repeating it or anything, but it's like, hey, what's up, guys? Will here. I'm taking a break in the studio. Have my song coming out soon, but I just wanted to check in to see how you guys are doing. I know we're all stuck at home. These are like just some things I'm doing to stay positive in this time. That kind of content is the kind of content you can just do every single day. And that gets people started on the know to like. And of course, you want to sprinkle your music in there, but you don't want to just order your fans to pay attention to your music. You know what I mean? So just try to avoid things that are like new song dropping today, stream now, link in bio right now, everyone now, so that's sometimes necessary, but not an everyday thing, not like a usual content strategy. So, and it doesn't move people along the fan journey. So that's what I suggest. And as far as photos and videos, I think photos are not as powerful as video. So I would just try to make as many videos as possible if you had to choose one or the other. So hope that helps, man. Yeah, I hope that's good feedback. Yeah, definitely do that in the studio because that's like a beautiful backdrop. Yeah, definitely. Like they'll see that you're a musician, they'll be intrigued, but let your personality shine forward. That's what I would do. Sweet, guys. One more question and then we will end this. See, Project says, if I use free for-profit beats, what are the pros and cons? If I use free for-profit beats, what are the pros and cons? Free for-profit? I'm actually not sure what you mean by that, unfortunately. Free. So is that you have royalty-free beats, right? And then you have beats that require you to purchase a license. And so the free, do you mean like royalty-free beats where you can make a profit? If that's what you mean, let me know. But as written there. I'm actually not sure. Okay, royalty-free beats. Yeah. So there's a huge con actually. Well, there's a huge pro as well. Like the pro, low cost of entry. You don't have to hire a producer. You can just get stuff out there, put it on SoundCloud. No big deal. You start building your fan base, which is actually the most important thing. So just like cover songs, I would consider using royalty-free beats and making like mixtapes and stuff like that in the realm of, I know I'm not going to profit from this, but I will profit while I build my fan base. So that's the mindset that I would think of. There's a big con though. If you upload it to any platform that has a content ID system like YouTube, you're probably going to get flagged, and you'll probably get, you won't be able to monetize that video because most likely someone else has uploaded that song using that beat first. And so YouTube Content ID will just be like, oh, that's the other song. You just stole the beat. And so you won't, yeah, it's not a disaster, but I would stick to platforms that don't have any content ID. Just forget about, uploading to Spotify because they might even reject it. Not entirely sure, but the thing is like with all these algorithmic platforms, that really kind of throws a wrench in the whole thing, even though you're not doing something technically illegal or technically infringing copyright. You can still kind of infringe on these content ID things. So hope that helps. If you do decide to go that route, just focus on building your audience, man. Focus on building your fan base, and that will still make it worth it, even though you have royalty-free beat. So I hope that helps. I have to run, guys. It's been awesome. Don't forget to sign up for all the amazing stuff going on right now at the Indie Music Academy, like the free workshop that I dropped in earlier. Gosh, let me find that link again because it definitely is worth it. And don't forget to take advantage of the $1 trial of the Indie Growth Community. It's not always $1 for the first month. This is actually the first time I've ever offered any promo deal on, and dive in, watch the training, see how I can help you, and yeah, we can start your career. So here is the link to the free workshop. That's like totally free, no commitment necessary. And oh yeah, what is this? Will says, if you don't have it, sign up, be a member. It's worth it. Ryan is the real deal. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah. Will is in the Indie Growth community. So he's already on the inside. He's been a member since the very beginning. So it's an awesome community. And there's already like 5+ hours of training available that you get instantly. So even if you just want to look at that, check it out, make your decision. That's kind of the point of this $1 trial, just to remove any friction. I know it's kind of a weird time right now, and I know it's also hard to commit to something that you just don't know very much about yet. So that's the whole reason why that is going on right now. So that was the link to the free training, and here is the link to the $1 trial. I highly recommend it. And yeah, with that, I think I got to all the questions. And guys, it's been awesome. Thanks so much for spending this time with me. 4 weeks in a row. It's been good. Yeah, and I hope to see you in the Indie Growth community as well, just so we can continue this and continue to grow your music careers. You can ask those tough questions face to face, and I'll help you out every day of the week. So with that, have a great evening, and I'll see you guys in a future video.